Hey everyone, today we're going to assemble your priority Skyline.
Before we get started, it's important to know that we always recommend that your bicycle be professionally assembled. Or if you choose to follow this video and do home assembly, we recommend that a professional bicycle mechanic safety check your bicycle before riding. Now let's get started.
Now with a box cutter or a pair of household scissors, let's open up the box. With the box open, let's remove the bike. It might be a little bit heavy, so make sure to grab a friend to help you out. Now let's remove all the packaging material off of the bike, making sure that we're extra careful around any of the cabling. Now let's open up your small parts box. In here you'll find literature for the bike, such as your priority owner's manual, battery safety manual, the Gates belt owner's manual, your suspension manual, and the Pinion Smart.Shift manual. You'll also get some tools, a reflector, some touch-up paint, and your charger. It's a good idea to stop what we're doing now to go over these manuals before moving forward. With the packing material now removed, we're ready to install our handlebars onto the stem. To do so, we want to remove these 4 bolts here on the stem faceplate using your 4mm Allen key. Now let's put the handlebar onto the stem and then your faceplate. Then grab one of the bolts and place it onto the stem. Continue this process with the other bolts. On this stem, we'll want to snug up the top section of the stem faceplate until it's touching the other side of the stem. Then the bottom, we will torque down to 6 Newton-meters. For now, leave them loose, as we'll adjust them later in the video. With the handlebars installed, we can go ahead and get the brake levers onto the handlebar. Let's start with the right-hand side. The right-hand brake lever will be towards the right side, and we can double check that the cabling is going inside of the stem. Using your 4mm Allen key, we're going to remove the backing plate and the bolts. Next, place the brake lever in between the shifter and the grip. And you want the brake lever as close to the grip as possible. Then grab that backing plate and install one of the bolts. Then grab the other bolt and install that one. We're going to leave these a little loose, as we'll tighten them down later in the video. Now let's do the left-hand brake. Grab your brake lever, move the backing plate and the 4mm bolts. Place your brake lever on the handlebar as close to the grip as possible and install the backing plate and bolts. We'll leave these loose as well. Next, let's get your headlight installed onto the stem. Using your 3mm Allen key, we're going to remove this bolt here. And as you remove it, just be careful because there is a washer in there. Then grab your cables and insert it into this open area here. You want to get all the cables in there except for the front brake hose. Now with that washer, we're going to place it in between the headlight and the headlight mount on the stem. Then get your bolt, insert it through the hole, and use your 3mm Allen key to thread it in. No need to tighten that up, as we'll do it later in the video. Now let's get ready to install your front wheel. First, let's remove this spacer inside of your brake. You want to keep that if you ever decide to travel with your bike, and we'll want to remove this plastic spacer inside of the fork. You can do this by tilting the bike just slightly to the side here, then grab your 6mm Allen key and remove the axle. Then slide the plastic spacer out. Now let's grab your front wheel to install it. You want to make sure that the disc rotor is on the left side along with the caliper. Let's roll that underneath the fork and guide the disc rotor inside of the caliper. From here, grab your axle and insert it to the drive side of the fork, through the wheel, and use your 6mm Allen key to thread it in place. You want to tighten this until the tool leaves an impression in your hand, or up to 10 Newton-meters. With the front wheel installed, let's put down your kickstand to hold the bicycle upright. Now let's install your fender. To do so, you'll want to remove 3 bolts on the fork. The first one uses a 4mm Allen key and is located on the bridge of the fork. Next, we're going to remove these 2 bolts on the fork legs using your 3mm Allen key. Now grab your fender and install it from the back side of the fork. We're going to install the bolt at the bridge first, making sure to use your washer that was on there. Thread this in by hand first, and then use your 4mm Allen key to lock it in place. When you lock it down, make sure to bring the fender all the way up. Then install the strut using the bolt and washer, and thread it in using your 3mm Allen key. Let's do the same thing on the opposite side. From here, you may want to adjust your fender using the struts or pivoting this top bridge before locking down the bolts. You'll want to have these bolts tightened down to about 6 Nm. Now let's adjust your handlebar and controls. First, we'll want to adjust the handlebar so it's at a comfortable position. I like to have mine so they're nice and straight and not pointing up or down. We'll tighten up the top 2 bolts first, and then we'll tighten down the 2 bolts at the bottom. Get these nice and tight, and if you have a torque wrench, torque it down to 6 Nm. Next, let's adjust your headlight using your 3mm Allen key. You either want this pointing forward or slightly tilted down. Lock that in place. And this one, you just want to get it tight enough. It's about 4 Nm. Now, let's do your right-hand brake lever using your 4mm Allen key. For here, we want the brake lever at about a 45-degree angle. You want to evenly tighten up these bolts so that there's even spacing between the top and the bottom of the backing plate. And if you have a torque wrench, we'll lock these down to 6 Nm. Let's do the same thing on the opposite side. Make sure your brake levers match each other, and then torque the bolts down to 6 Nm. Next, let's move the display over. You want to get this as close to the left side as possible without it hitting the brake lever, and close enough where we can access the throttle and the buttons of the display. Then using your 2.5 Allen key, we're going to lock this down to about 0.5 Nm, so just snug enough. You can also angle the display closer or further away from you. From here, let's get our reflector installed. We'll want to move that as far over to the right side towards the stem. Then, using our Phillips head screwdriver, we're going to tighten down the reflector. From here, we can also install our rear reflector. We'll want to install it as high as possible on the seatpost, and also making sure that the reflector is pointing straight back. Then grab your Phillips head screwdriver and tighten it down. While we're back here, we can also adjust the seatpost to our desired height using this quick release here. When you open it, you can raise or lower the seatpost and also make sure that it's pointing straight. Now let's go back to our handlebars and make sure our cables are connected. Let's start with the right-hand side, connecting our Smart.Shift shifter to the Smart.Shift system. Now let's go to the left side so we can connect our display to the bike. To do this, we'll grab this cable here, which has the white arrow, and then the cable coming out of the display. Align the arrows and then firmly press together. We can then secure this cable underneath this wrapping. We'll want to undo the wrapping here, starting at the lever. After removing your wrap, we'll start again back at the brake lever, bringing all of your cables together. I like to have it so that the brake hose is in front, then the brake cutoff is on top, and then the display is on the bottom. After passing the connections here, we're just going to wrap the 2 wires together and no longer wrap the brake hose. When done, your handlebars and cables should look like this. The stem on the Skyline is adjustable. Using this bolt here, you can loosen this to angle your stem higher or lower. Just know that when doing this, you'll also want to angle your handlebars to match. Just make sure you don't go too high, as this may overstretch your cables. Now let's install our pedals. You'll notice an R and an L on the pedals, marking which side they belong to. R for right side, L for the left. You'll also see some knurling on the spindle here for the left side pedal. Let's start with the right pedal. If we have some grease, let's apply some grease onto the threads. Then we're going to install it onto the right crank. Start by doing this by hand, making sure we're turning the pedal clockwise or to the right. To lock it down, we'll hold the wheel at a 12 o'clock position and then turn the wrench to the right until the tool leaves an impression on your hand. For the left pedal, we'll install it on the left crank. We'll thread it in by hand by turning it to the left side or counterclockwise. Then we'll grab our pedal wrench to finish off. To tighten down the pedal, again, we'll hold the wheel at a 12 o'clock position, hold it in place, and then turn the pedal wrench counterclockwise until it's nice and tight. Now let's talk about charging your battery. You'll want to connect your charger to its own dedicated plug. Once it's connected, you'll see that it turns green. On your bike, you'll see this rubber grommet here on the non-drive side. You'll want to remove that and plug this side of the charger into the battery. You'll see that the light turns red and there will be a fan that turns on, indicating that the battery is charging. Once the battery is done charging, the light will turn green and the fan will turn off. Now let's remove your battery. To do so, we'll grab our key, insert it into the lock core on the non-drive side of the bike, turn it counterclockwise, then press this button on the underside of the down tube to release the battery. Now let's talk about your battery. On one side here, you'll see the charging port, which you can also charge this off of the bike. And the battery comes with a sleep mode function. You could turn it off by holding the power button for about 5 seconds until these 4 LEDs turn on. To put it back into the sleep mode function, press and hold the power button for another 5 seconds. Now let's install the battery. Let's first turn the key to the lock position, which will be clockwise. Then we'll grab our battery, hook it at the bottom section first, and then give a nice firm press into the frame, like so. You can check if your battery is properly installed while pressing this button here. We can also take the bike out of sleep mode by pressing this silver button on the drive side of the bike for 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, go ahead and press the power button on the display to turn it on. Turn the bike on by pressing and holding the power button. From here, we can see your battery life, your speed, trip distance, assist level, and odometer. Pressing the power button will let you go through different functions, such as max speed, average speed, and time. Pressing and holding the plus button will turn on your lights. Then pressing and holding it again will turn it off. If you press and hold the minus button, it will activate the walk assist mode. A quick press on either the plus or minus button will allow you to select your pedal assist mode all the way up to 5. Minus button will bring it down. With the bicycle turned on and in assist level 0, your bike will function like a normal bike, with the additive of using your lights and your speedometer. If your pedal assist is at 0, the throttle will not work. To use the throttle, you want to use the plus button to bring it up to 1 or all the way up to 5, and the minus button to bring it back down. Note that the throttle will max out at 20 miles per hour. Now let's get into your display settings. To do so, you'll want to hold down the plus and minus button together for a few seconds. From here, we'll use the power button to select display settings, and we could change things such as our units, the brightness of the screen, and even a password. After doing so, we can go back and we can go into advanced settings. From here, we can change settings such as the wheel size, which we don't have to change, and the speed limit. This bike comes shipped as a Class 2 e-bike, or 20 miles per hour. However, you can change it to a Class 3 e-bike, which can go up to 28 miles per hour. Make sure to check with your local laws and regulations before doing so. To change the speed, we can hit the power button and then use the plus or minus button to select your desired speed. Then click back and then exit. Now let's go through your Pinion Smart.Shift app. To do so, you'll want to download the Pinion Smart.Shift app, turn it on, and then press Add Device. You should see your Smart.Shift box pop up on the screen. If it doesn't, press and hold this shift button here for about 6 seconds for it to get into the Bluetooth pairing mode. You'll also see that your Smart.Shift box will show a blue blinking light and will be beeping. Now click on the device, wait till it connects, and then hit Configure Smart.Shift. And from here we can see what gear we're on, our start gear, turn on or off our start select, turn on or off our pre-select, and even choose the select start gear. We can also check out settings and notifications to see if there's any updates needed. For more information on how to use the Pinion Smart.Shift app, see the video in the description below. Now that we have the bicycle assembled, let's inflate our tires. These tires take anywhere between 35 to 65 psi. Let's also make sure that every bolt that we touched today and didn't touch today are nice and tight. We also recommend that you bring your bicycle down to your local bike shop for a safety check. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Our information is at the bottom of the screen.